Yeah, Tim, it is very cold outside already, and we're here at the Iowa DOT, where plows actually just left a few minutes ago, heading to Salone, Iowa, where they are just now getting some rain. The DOT told me that they have been preparing for this winter storm for a few days now, and so whatever comes our way towards Sioux City. Yeah, thanks, Tim and Sophie. And it's not raining more, but it is definitely cold out, and there's still quite a line of people behind me, and poll workers told me that it's been this busy since 8 a.m. Hi, Tim, and thank you so much. This event is already looking very successful. As you can see behind me, there have been a lot of different costumes, from Lava Girl, a baby cow, to even dinosaurs. And Halloween has been around for over 2,000 years now, but the traditional idea of Halloween is shifting now from going door to door to a trunk or treat. Yeah, Tim, I was down at the meeting earlier today, and folks told me their biggest concern was needing to find a plan that benefits both the students, but also a plan that makes the taxpayers happy. Tim, the family is continuing to grieve after it's just been a few months since the death. The family said that they're doing the best they can today given the situation. Yeah, thanks, Tim. The workshop is just starting up right now. They're expected to have a ton of people tonight, over 150. I talked with officials earlier, and they said they're going to discuss overcrowding at the school as well as building infrastructure and safety. Coming up at 10, I'll have more information on the workshop. Live from South Sioux City Middle School, Aveya Hannan, KCAU 9 News. Well, thanks, Sophie. And today at Hy-Vee, Montana was surprised with a bike that is customized to meet her needs and allow her to move in a new and exciting way. And the American Legion Riders of Post 232 made sure veterans didn't go hungry this Thanksgiving in Polk City, Iowa. Well, thank you, Maggie. And staying on the topic of weather, extreme winter weather is impacting millions across the country, while out west, rain and snow is in the forecast. Here's ABC's Perry Rossum with the details. In this winter season, Siouxland has already seen several structure fires. With the holiday season coming up, it's important to get a refresher on safety tips. Reporter Hannah Gonzalez has more from Fresno, California. South Dakota Governor Kristi Noem had her confirmation hearing today for the Homeland Security position, where she discussed how she would help the country in disasters. As she was talking about that, residents in McCook Lake are still dealing with the aftermath of the historic flooding.
Every American deserves to be there and have disaster relief the same as their neighbors.
South Dakota Governor testified on Capitol Hill to lead the Department of Homeland Security, which oversees America's borders, the TSA, and FEMA. Linda Kutzner's home was severely damaged during the June flooding, but her home is still standing, unlike many other structures around McCook Lake.
Despite all of her efforts, we didn't feel that, it was enough. We felt we were left out. We waited 2 months for, the proclamation to go through for disaster emergency. And I do hope that things will get better if she's going to, get a larger position in the nation, and that she does, better for the nation than she did for us here.
Residents say they're still angry with the government and are surprised that Noem would be given such a big role in disasters after she mishandled the flooding in South Dakota.
Emergencies and disasters are always locally led. They're led by the local communities and leaders, and that's because they're much more responsive and much better informed on how to bring relief and to get those emergency services there to meet the need. Then it's state supported and federally resourced.
We didn't have any help with the efforts other than local people, local businesses, donations and things, so we weren't, without those people and that support, we wouldn't have been able to even clean this area up. Where our state and stuff did not pitch in to help us in that case.
Kutzner says she feels betrayed by the local and state government.
I would have never chosen to do this to my citizens, and I hope she learns from that, take people first, We're good law-abiding people, lived here, I've been here 43 years, and would have never expected from my state level to my city level to agree to send that kind of water at a community.
Residents say the community is what helped them get through in difficult times, and they asked Governor Noem to not make the same mistake again with the country as she did with the community. In North Sioux City, Aveya Hannan, KCAU 9 News. Yeah, Travis, it was actually very cool to see. So I was with the steer cows and learned how they can handle the cold with a little extra help from the farmers.
I have cows. And we have steers and heifers. So one way we keep our cattle warm is by utilizing shelter belts. It blocks the wind. We get really hard winds from the northwest. So my dad planted these about 25 years ago, and I built these yards about 4 years ago. and it's just a great shelter for them, keeps the wind off of them and protected.
Shank says she has been working on the farm for over 4 years now, and she has trained the cows to go near the shelter belt when it gets cold and windy.
They're very content. They know to go behind the tree belt. We also bed them down, so we'll put out cornstalk bales to keep them warm. We use a Vermeer bale processor to, it just blankets over, but yeah, it keeps them dry and warm.
Aside from bedding and trees keeping cows warm, their own body fat can also keep the cows warm during the cold winter months.
Another big thing is nutrition. So if you're feeding them good, they usually do pretty well in the cold weather. They do a body condition score. Is how it's a scale of 1 to 9, 1 being they're very thin and then 9 being they're overweight. So before winter we try to get them around that 6 mark so that they're prepared. So we up their ration, we give them a little more dry matter, keep them warm.
With the extra weight and warm fur, the farmer says they're able to keep their cows happy and warm all winter season. Aveya Hannan, KCAU 9 News. Thanks. And here in the cemetery in Renton, it is rumored that people would hide their bottles of moonshine in gravestones. And that's just the start to some of the things that people would do here just to get a drink.
Bootlegging started years ago for when Prohibition was going on. A lot of the farmers in the area, since they had access to corn and wheat and everything to make the moonshine, a lot of them either built their own still or had somebody manufacture it for them.
During the Prohibition era, people would make moonshine as an extra source of income, even though it was illegal.
A lot of people, were used to, if they could drink it over in Luxembourg and Germany, why can't we drink it here too, type of thing. And I know a lot of people still make their own beer and wine here yet, and actually moonshine too.
People didn't just hide their bottles in the kitchen, they found more intricate ways that nobody would think of.
The Whiskey Creek. So a lot of people used to hide the moonshine bottles along the creek and then would let people know. And then if they go driving through out on the dirt roads, you'd be able to pick up wherever their location was that they had them. In the cemetery, there's 2 headstones that are metal and they're hollow, so that you can take off their plates that unscrew and you can take them off, that they used to hide probably moonshine in there.
It was rumored that there were tunnels underground where people were moving moonshine, but any history of those tunnels are long gone by now.
My grandparents' farm is out south of town. Their neighbors across the road made moonshine. My great-great-grandparents didn't like it, so they moved the whole entire farm in. They were on closer to the side of the road, but they moved the whole entire farm to get away from being possibly raided or anything like that.
They're celebrating his birthday, what would have been his 21st birthday. And they're still in mourning, but celebrating their birthday is very important to keep the prayers going that they had started when they had to lay him to rest.
His younger sister, Rosalani Avila, told me that she is frustrated with the process of getting justice, but she tries to keep his memories alive each day.
I'm really sad, but at the same time I'm really happy because my brother, he was so excited for his 21st birthday. He was so happy, and I know he wouldn't want us to be sad at all. Oh yeah, he liked to dance a lot. He would dance all the time and show us his moves, and it was really funny.
An indigenous activist told me the alleged murderer was arrested by the tribal police, but was recently released to home confinement.
My understanding from the family was that person that's suspected of committing this crime has been released on bond. It's still in tribal court and hasn't gone federal yet, so the family is very upset.
Lemire said serious crimes, including murder on native land, typically go under investigation by the federal government. The family said they hope the case will be resolved through the federal court systems.
He just died in a really unjust, unfair way, and his killer is out free, we heard, and he's out on house arrest. We just think it's really unfair because my brother's life was taken from him. He had so much to live for. He had a baby on the way. He's going to be born soon in a couple weeks. And we just think it's really important for people to know his name and what happened so he can get his justice.
The family and friends hope the vigil will spread awareness but also allow them to grieve together in a positive way.
There's a lot of negative stigmas about our nations, and I think what the community can learn from it is how we move forward in good ways and how we support one another.